Sweet. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of The Locker Room. I am here with one of my favourite players of the last season, the Fox. Josh Addo-Carr, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much, mate. Just living the dream on our break and just enjoying family's company, I suppose.
Mate, the break after winning a premiership. Could a break possibly get better? Possibly. Ever?
Nah, can't get any better. The last 2 years I've started. I've done an 8-week pre-season this year. I do a 5-week pre-season, so pretty stoked.
Oh, really? 5-week pre-season? Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's good.
Mate. So what's it been like for you? Like 16 months ago, you're at the West Tigers. You know, you make your debut, but you're not necessarily. You're still trying to fight your way into a regular first grader. Fast forward to now, you're a premiership winning winner. Premiership winning winger. What's that like for you? Is that weird? Something when you think about it?
Still hasn't sunk in yet, but yeah, just all the things that happen in my life and all the hard work and dedication. Just finally paid off, I suppose. But still got a long way to go in my career. But I remember the national anthem in the grand final, and I was just embracing the crowd. And when everyone started singing the national anthem, I started crying. So
oh, really?
it was it was just a special moment for myself and my family. I could see my family where I was standing, and I just couldn't believe it.
Mate, how good is that? And especially like seeing your family where you're standing. What are the chances of that? Usually, I mean, it's a packed house. That's sick, bro. It's so good. I'm getting pumped. I'm coming back. It's only going to be local league. It's only going to be local league. I'll come back to play. So like, you know, how's it been for you personally? Like, where's your head at now? Like, so when you have the year, the best year you could possibly think of, and then you're coming into the next year, are you still kind of thinking about the premiership, or are you really focused towards next year at this stage?
No, still obviously trying to. I don't know. Like I said before, the premiership hasn't sunk in yet, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to next year. We obviously want to go back to back. I think Broncos are the last team that went back to back.
Yep.
They said just before we left in the break that this pre-season is going to be very hard.
They got to. Why they got to say that?
It's hard.
Why are they going to say that?
It's hard every year, but I'm looking forward to it, and just love playing football down there. Just happy, mate.
The anxiety levels for me personally, if they told me that it's going to be the hardest pre-season ever, like the whole off season I'd be just stressing. So take us back to a young Fox. First of all, I want to know where the Fox come from. Well, it's a sick nickname and I love it. Where did the Fox kind of come from?
Fox come from my great grandfather, my mum's father, Addo-Carr. His dad's surname was Fox, and ever since I was a young pup running around on the footy field, Mum started calling me Fox, and just everyone started calling me Fox after that, and now everyone calls me Fox. And
mate, I love it.
I remember when I remember watching a game when Vossi said, you obviously read the article and called me the Fox. That was stuck with me forever now. And that's I love it. It's good.
Mate, that's especially the commentator, because like when you're a kid, you're like, you know, you're in the backyard and you're with your mates and you're like, oh, you know, you say, Kim's down the sideline, but then you hear them say it and you're like, this is crazy, man, this is crazy.
It is crazy. I suppose it's like I said before, everyone used to call me Fox, and listening on national TV is pretty special, and who would have thought?
And a throwback to like your grandfather and you know, that's awesome, bro. It's so good. So take us back to a young Fox. You know, what would you grew up in Sydney, and you know, what was it like for you growing up? Was it essentially, you know, was it tough? Was it normal? What was it like?
Growing up, I lived out. I was born in Blacktown, Western Sydney. So I've got family out there. My dad's side of the family, the Addos, at Doonside.
Yep.
Moved into Earlwood when I was about maybe 5, 6 with my mum, and then just went to school. I went to a public school at Earlwood there. I have a lot of family in Redfern. Those are the Carrs, my mother's side of the family. And, growing up was at the start, it was, I suppose, normal. I was young. And, leading up to my teenage years, I suppose, it was pretty tough. But like I said before, it's I think back now, and I wouldn't change a thing. It's just, I suppose it's been a hell of a ride for me and my family, and I wouldn't change a thing.
And so you say when your teenage years, did you start to get into a bit of trouble, or was it your family had a bit of issues, or what was it?
Oh yeah, well obviously I was that typical teenager. I just wanted to have fun, and I used to get in trouble a lot, just because it was just not because the people I hung around, because the people I hung around was my family. And I'll never say I hung around the wrong people, because you make your own decisions, and I got in trouble when I was at South, and it unfortunately didn't work out there, and I suppose everything happens for a reason, and I learned a lot from what I did, and it obviously shaped me to the person I am today.
100%. I mean, especially as a teenage boy, like you can just make one wrong decision, and it seems like a small decision at the time. It doesn't even seem like a decision, but it has huge ramifications. But in the time, you're not thinking in such a negative light. You're not trying to be, do anything wrong. It just kind of seems that, young men just. I mean, I look back at some stuff I did when I was younger, and I feel like a lot of young teenage boys do wrong things, but it's just some get caught. You know what I mean? Most teenage boys, if they said, "This is exactly what I did when I was a teenager," if everyone got caught for everything they did, you'd be, everyone would kind of be in trouble. It's just a matter of So, has footy been something that's always been an escape for you? Somewhere that you just loved it? It's your passion. Have you always been an athlete?
Yeah, 100%. My grandfather was a champion boxer, and everyone used to tell me, "Well, why don't you get into boxing?" And I was like, "Oh, nah, can't. Just my passion's footy. I've been playing it since I was 4, and it all started at Doonside back in the day, and footy's been if it wasn't for footy, I'd probably be locked up, or who knows, I don't know, but footy's just been just
it's a guiding light, because
a guiding light, exactly, guiding light, and just love playing footy, just love playing, just love running around with the boys, and just give me the ball and I run, I suppose.
100%. That's bro. What's crazy is people say, "Oh, it's amazing." It is amazing what you've achieved, but when you break it down, that's what you do. You get the ball and you run, and you run well. It's crazy to think that it can be so simple. So, were you in athletics or anything like that? Did you do any sprinting, or just always footy was kind of thing?
I did athletics, obviously, through school, and I wasn't the quickest bloke, but I'd make I don't know, what's the level before state? I don't know.
Regionals.
I'd make regionals, and I think regionals was I think it was the bit where you had to use the blocks. And I was in TNs or whatever shoes, and Converses or whatever, and I never really knew how to use the blocks, and just used to go with the flow and hope for the best, and I was always a competitive kid, and it's just the person I am today.
We used to we couldn't afford spikes, so we used to put out it's called crystal something, and it's purple, and so my parents would make us all bathe our feet in this purple stuff to harden them up, and then we would strap our feet and run on top with no spikes, bro. That's because we couldn't afford spikes.
That's same. I used to get me and Mum used to get Kmart or Target or whatever, and just try and find the lightest shoe. We would weigh it up with our hands, and we'd try and find the lightest shoe, even if it was ugly. It didn't matter.
So you'd go with your mum and okay, this is it's cheap, it's light. That's where you use that.
That's the one.
Swear to God, bro. It's just crazy how it's just crazy that as you said, you're sitting there on the grand final field and you're looking at your family, and you remember probably moments like that where your mum's doing everything she can to give you a chance, but you're sitting there weighing up shoes in Kmart.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just sick, bro.
Yeah, wouldn't change a thing. It's been a hell of a ride. Loving it.
So do you feel that, because like when we see you on the field, I immediately thought you were a sprinter. I was like 100% this guy was a sprinter growing up, technique wise, speed wise. But do you think that it was because you didn't really have access to maybe not a system, but just someone to kind of guide you and say, mate, you could be a good sprinter if you trained and you had the right kit and you had access to all of these things that a lot of kids don't have access to because of certain things? Do you think that was part of the reason?
I think as I got older and training got harder, I think that's when I started getting a bit faster and just learning new sprinting techniques or whatever you may call it.
Because you actually started training, really.
Obviously, pre-season at South SJ Ball and Harold Mass was pretty hard, and just as I got older and the teams I played in, the training got harder and
What do you reckon kept you in it? Because it seemed like I bet you got mates that were good footy players that just decided, I'm not going to play footy this week, and then it turned into 2 weeks, and then it turned into 3 weeks. What do you reckon kept you in playing footy to get you to this point, kind of thing?
I've always wanted to make a name for myself, and like I said before, I got in trouble.
Yeah.
I got locked up overnight. That was probably the worst night of my life all day. Of my life. It was after a South SC ball training session down at Maroubra Beach, and I breached my bail, and I got home and the coppers were there waiting for me, and I'll never forget it. And I said, mate, you got to come with us. Yeah. And the process to take you to Cobham, because I was young at the time, I was only 17, and the process and just the waiting and stuff, I really thought about. I really thought about what my future was going to be, and since that night, obviously it changed my life. And
So breach your bail. What did you do to breach bail?
I just forgot the report.
Oh really?
Forgot the report. I used to report 3 days a week. And,
yep.
Forgot the report, and
you don't have to say what you got done bail for, but what did you get? If you don't want to say it, you don't have to. But what did you get done for?
Just an assault. Just an assault charge. It's just something stupid. Just
what, young boys fighting?
Just young boys fighting.
Yep. And he decided to press charges on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He pressed charges on me, and I'm lucky enough to get away with the bail and a good behaviour one. And
yep.
Like I said, I learned from my lessons, and everything happens for a reason. And probably the lucky ones, I suppose.
And so when you're sitting in that, so you sat in the cell for the night.
Yeah.
What were you kind of thinking? Were you just like, what have I done here? What have I done?
I was just everything. Just when I got there, I was probably 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
I drove from Newtown Police Station to Cobham out Mount Druitt. The coppers. I was in the back of the paddy wagon, and the coppers were just making it hell for me. I was in my South gear, and I was in a South singlet and South footy shorts, and I think I was in socks, no shoes, and they turned up the aircon in the back and just made it hell for me. It was just driving that slow, and I was just thinking, just everything, just the process of getting out, getting into the cell, stripping, and
just humiliating.
Just,
they could do it.
I was like, why? It's just not worth it. And
yep.
I say, time they get in trouble, I don't know how you do it. It's, or cousins, mates, whatever.
Yep.
I don't know how you do it, and it was a big eye opener for myself.
So do you think that those cops were trying to teach you a lesson, or were they just being dicks?
Oh, maybe they probably I don't know.
A bit of both, maybe.
Probably maybe a bit of both, I suppose.
Yeah,
but it's just like I said before, it was a blessing in disguise, I think. So
yep.
Yeah.
And so you spend that night in jail, and from that, essentially, when you come out, were you just like, you know what? I never want to experience that again. I'm going to get in the straight and narrow and really follow this footy dream, or what was the kind of process?
Yeah, well, that's why, like I said before, that's why I got dropped from South, because they found out, obviously, I got grabbed by the cops, and
yep.
and I suppose it's just I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's hard to explain. Yeah,
it's hard to explain. It's
because like you can try to tell us, you can kind of say like this is how it felt, but you'll never be able to express to me what it genuinely felt like to be sitting there.
It just felt just rubbish. Just like, I don't know if you want me to swear, but
no, bro, you can say whatever you want.
Just felt shit. I
suppose. 100%.
Just felt not free. I don't you know what I mean. It just wasn't the person I am. I love playing football, but I love hanging out with my mates and my cousins, and that was a huge wake up call. And if that didn't happen, then probably wouldn't know where I was. So.
And it's such a perfect word you said, not free, and that's so true. Like someone else is controlling. You're a 17-year-old boy, but you feel like a man, and someone else is controlling your life. I mean, that is a massive wake up call.
I remember going into the cell, and the showers were in the cell because I was waiting to go to court the next day, and the showers were cold. I had to have a shower because obviously I just finished footy training and had to have a shower, and the water was cold. I was just dead set. Like my spit was bigger than the water that was coming out. You know what I mean? But it was freezing. And,
you were just
the food they gave me was obviously was leftover because I got there like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And the food I didn't even bother eating because it was just rubbish. It was like dirt with water, you know. It was just it was a big wake up call for myself, and just the process of the next day going to court and it's just shit feeling. And I just told myself I don't want to live this way.
And the thing is like you're not just feeling it for yourself, you're feeling it for your family, you're feeling it for everyone that you care about too, and you're feeling like you let them down, and that's not really who you are. Because like I've experienced certain things in my life as well, where I've been in places where I'm with other people that are really in bad places in their life, and I think like this is not who I am, but I'm here.
Yeah.
So you got to make obviously the right decision, but you made the right decision. So so you go to court and everything happens. You get dropped by South. What's the process then? Is it I'm putting my foot down. I'm not going to do stupid things. I'm going to train my ass off. When did it come? Where did you go from there, kind of thing?
After that, I obviously got dropped from South, and I was sort of thinking about not playing rep football. Just thought about my best mate actually now, and a couple of my family members told me that, to come have a run just for Moore Park A grade.
Yep.
For a year.
Oh, Moore Park, yeah. I think
Moore Park, and
took some abuse to those boys.
And I played there for a year with A grade. I was 17, 16, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Had a year with them, and I fell in love with the game again. And then I got in contact with my manager again, and he got me 2 trials with the Bulldogs and the Sharks. And I tried out with both, and I went pretty good in both, obviously. But I chose the Sharks just purely on how many players they had in their pre-season. Bulldogs had like 50 or 60 players in their pre-season, and I just thought I'll stay at the Sharks and hope for the best, and just train hard, and see what the goal was. And
so you had a trial there, and they said we'll give you a chance with that first grade squad, or just 20s?
Just with 20s. So I just basically started from the bottom.
Yep.
I had just a train, just a game, and James Shepard, the 20s coach for the Sharks at the time, picked me up, and
And so you played a few games for them, and then was it kind of like, okay, I'm in the system now, let's work hard, kind of thing?
Well, 100%. Once I got the opportunity, I knuckled down, and my family helped me out heaps throughout the time. I was moving around house to house, and I just knuckled down, and really hope for the best, and just try to do myself proud.
And so your family was always like, yep, you can come crash here, of course you can, and they were there to kind of support you when you needed to be able to focus on footy kind of thing, rather than working 40 hours a week kind of thing, or 50 hours a week somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. And once I started playing 20s and training with them or whatever, I started just started. How can I explain it? Just started. Basically I just knuckled down and sort of gave me guidance to.
You had a goal to achieve.
I had a goal to achieve.
Exactly.
Well, I had a goal to achieve, and Sharks gave me the opportunity. And like I said before, I knuckled down and really focused on my football. And I love my time at the Sharks, and I've got good mates there now at the moment, so it's good.
So you how many games of 20 did you play that year?
I played every game. I wasn't even meant to play round one, but I think one of the boys got injured, and during the week, and I think it was captain's when he got injured, and the coach called me up and ended up scoring 2 tries. It was against Gold Coast Titans. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And and it all started from there. And
so when you got that call, was that pretty special to you because you've come so far in such a short amount of time?
Well, 100%. They had they pretty much had their side picked.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good pre-season, but the guy that was in front of me was there the year before, and obviously cemented his spot. And he got injured through the week, and when I got called up, I still remember the number. I was number 18, and ended up scoring 2 tries. And
did you layer up?
Yeah, nah. Actually, I did because my family was there. I was pointing to the crowd, and no one was there. I was pointing to my family, and if you look at the video, it looks like there's no one there, but my family's around.
So look at this guy, he's pointing at nobody. That's good, bar. Good 2 tries on debut, bro. Can't ask for much. I think I might have scored 2 tries on my debut as well for like Rezzies. When there was no 20s.
Yeah.
So against Greg Inglis, actually.
Oh, really?
Like, not as in like, hey, let's pump the brakes. He was playing in the game.
Yeah.
It wasn't against actually him.
Yeah.
As I've said numerous times on this podcast, I've just got a chip tooth from when he found in my face. So I've got nothing on the GI.
Yeah.
So you played the whole year, and then is that when West Tigers picked you up?
I played 2 years at the Sharks, and I think I played every game for the 2 years at the Sharks. I don't think I missed a game. Maybe the second year I missed 1 game, but obviously the Sharks wanted to keep me, but they only wanted to keep me for New South Wales Cup, and the Tigers and the Storm wanted to sign me for first grade for just for 1 year. And I discussed with my family. With my cousin I was living with at the time, and just everyone, my dad, mum, and I discussed with them. I'll stay in Sydney and obviously hope for the best, and that's why I stayed. That's why I picked the Tigers at the time.
So it's because kind of like you spoke to your family and you kind of wanted to be around them still because it's hard to move. Like when I moved away from my family, I struggled big time. So it was kind of like, it's in Sydney, I know the players, West Tigers, probably a building club at this stage. So you went to West Tigers, and so was that first year, was that the year, so this would have been 2015?
No, this was last year.
Oh, so 2016?
2016,
okay,
yeah.
So 2015 pre-season into 2016 full-time, and then when you had that first full-time pre-season, was that when you really started to see your body become, you were like getting PBs in bench press, PBs and all this kind of stuff. Did you see your body start to really react to that kind of full-time training?
Yeah, well, I never trained with first grade at the Tigers and at the Sharks. Sorry, and when I went to the Tigers, I used to go for the Tigers back in the day, and when I seen Robbie Farah and all them guys there and Chrissy Lawrence, and I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it at the time, and like you said, my body started to develop into a first grader, I suppose you could say, and it was my first full pre-season with a first grade club, and if it wasn't for the Tigers, obviously I wouldn't be where I am today, and they gave me the opportunity, and I love my time at the Tigers, but I wanted to be a consistent football player. Yeah, that's the reason why I went down to the Melbourne Storm.
And so that first pre-season, were you just like, man, this is crazy?
Yeah, 100%. I was. I thought that pre-season was the hardest pre-season I've done, and It's just like working, like, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you got to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning and go train on the field or do gym or whatever it was. And I used to work at. I used to labour with my uncle back in 20s because we had to work at the time.
Yeah.
It was just a rule back then. I don't know if they do it now still, but yeah, we had to work, and I remember working and worked probably for about a whole year with my uncle, and I just like I said before, when I was in the cell, I was just like, and working with my uncle, I was just like, this is not for me. I want to play first grade. I want to be the best of the best. I want to be in the record books.
Yeah.
I want to be the best person and player I can be. And
Yeah.
if it wasn't for them, those things that happened in my life, and probably would be the man I am today.
100%. It's like, and it's no, like, I know the same feeling. It's not necessarily that one is better than the other. It's just like what you feel is like, this is where you feel your destiny is to play sport, play footy, play professionally. So yeah, I can totally empathise with that kind of feeling. So you started the year in reserve grade for Tigers.
Yeah.
So you play reserve grade, playing good footy.
Yeah, I was playing good footy at reserve grade for the Tigers. I think I don't know how many games I played for reserve grade before I debuted, but I think I debuted at round 7 of 2016.
Was it against the Storm as well?
It was against the Storm.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. It was I signed 3 days before.
Oh, with the Storm?
Before I debuted with the Storm.
Oh, wow.
And that's when the club found out, and I just thought, there's no way I'll be playing first grade now, or anytime soon or whatever. And I'll never forget the day that Jason Taylor told me that I was playing. It was captain's run.
Yep.
So the day before the game, and I was like to Jason Taylor, "You Gene up?" Like,
I swear to God,
he's serious. I swear, I asked him the question, "Are you Gene me up?" And
yep.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. And it was a happy day, the happiest day of my life, and I just couldn't wait to tell my dad and my mum and my whole family that I was debuting.
So what was that phone call like? Were you like, playing first grade?
Nah, I worked captain's run. So
no, when you called your family.
Oh, when I called my family, I don't know, man. It was just like, I don't know. It was just like, I'm playing tomorrow, and
yeah.
They're like, oh, what do you mean? I was I'm playing first grade tomorrow. I'm finally making my debut, and
yeah.
I don't know. Just I can't explain what their facial expressions were like, but it was obviously their voice was just obviously emotional, and I was very emotional. I don't know if that word, but
emotional myself.
Yeah. It was probably the happiest day of my life, apart from debut.
And so you make your debut, and then we see the Fox just gliding down the sideline there. I think you nearly made a break, like one of your earlier runs. I could be complete, but I definitely remember your debut. So you scored a try.
Yeah.
When you scored a try, and you gave a shout out to, I think, is it your uncle that was currently locked up?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's anymore. Is he out now? So
I've got a number of family members in there now, but the one I did it for was he's out now, and like you said, I laid up, but I was just that's just who the person I am. I'm very
don't ever go away from it, brother.
Active and always jumpy and stuff. And, people saw it as a selfish thing, and but ever since going down to the Storm, they taught me a lot, and it's been good.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, don't get me wrong, it's hard because like there's a certain culture of like it was a team try and don't layer up for that. But there also is a self-expression that this is who I am and I like to celebrate and I'm an energetic guy, a very expressive guy.
Yeah.
So it is hard. Like, I mean, I struggled with it too. Like I was similar. Like I wanted to layer up, but I would just like put the ball down. And then the one time I did layer up, I just got crucified for it. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. You got to respect what the team wants, but you also, it's self-expression. But I love the Larry stuff. I'm a bit different. I love that stuff. Like the Larrier, the better for me. Kind of like NFL and that. I love when they carry on. Like,
it's just, I suppose I just got really excited. We were really passionate about playing football. And, Love it.
And it was a mad try, so.
It was a good try too.
Okay, so yeah, that debut. So when you do score the try, that feeling, what's that look like? Does it all kind of come back to you, everything that's kind of happened? Were you just like, I can't believe, like, the crowd, like, you're on the field, it's the crowd's around you, what was it like?
Yeah, well, coming up with, playing against the Storm, obviously, finding out that you're playing the Storm, probably the best team in the world or Australia or whatever.
Of this generation.
Yeah. Come up against Cameron Smith and Cooper Cronk, Billy Slater, Jesse Bromwich, and just everything. I embraced the game, and I'm a very nervous person.
Yep.
I just care about what I do, and I just that day I wouldn't have let myself. I wouldn't let the nerves get the best of me, I suppose. And
yep.
Scoring that try was something very special. It was right in front of my family. And
Again, how good is that?
That's what I mean. What a coincidence!
Yeah.
And it's just that day. It was the happiest day of my life. It was just. I remember running out. And just embracing the Leichhardt Oval Sunday afternoon, and just embracing the crowd, and just like thinking, I finally made it. You know, all the hard work and all the dedication, all the sacrifices, and all the things that went through my life, or all the things I've been through, and it's just finally paid off. And it was the happiest day. I'll never forget the first person I tackled too was Jesse Bromwich. So.
Oh, swear to God! Right, you smashed him
off the kickoff.
Right, you jammed it.
I just jumped and called it.
That's funny, right? So, okay, so yeah, you ended up. So you signed with the Storm, and so that decision. Why did you sign with the Storm? You know, it's a club where it breeds the best, makes the best out of everyone, but it's such a good club. It is extremely hard to make that side because they have guns everywhere. So it's a very risky kind of proposition. You know, you can go down there and be stuck behind a gun, or you can become one of the best wingers in the game. What was that decision like?
Oh, it was obviously a hard decision. The Tigers wanted to re-sign me, and mid-season, obviously the Storm wanted to sign me, like you said, and it was a hard decision for myself. Just I was born and bred in Sydney, and it's the only thing I knew, and just moving away from family, and I've got basically no one down there, down in Melbourne, but I wanted. I remember a game I played for the Tigers, and it was against South Sydney Rabbitohs. I had a shocker, and I thought about that. I really thought about that game, and I wanted to be a consistent football player and just confident in what I did every weekend. And that's why I moved down to Melbourne. I just wanted to be a consistent football player and be the best person and the best player I could be. And I knew the Melbourne Storm would turn me into the player I always wanted to be, and my family wanted me to be. And I made the decision with my family, and that's why I went down there, to be the best player and the best person I could be.
Mate, it's 100% worked out. Best decision, best decision ever, bro.
Yeah, best decision.
Okay, so you go down there and you get told you got to work full time for 2 weeks. Did you know that before you signed?
Yeah, I knew it straight away when everyone talks about the Storm pre-season. Everyone knows how hard they train. And, I remember the boys at the Tigers used to give it to me.
Like, you got to be working, bro.
Yeah, you got to be working. You got to be doing the army camp, and I had second thoughts of moving down. Yeah, just because everyone used to give it to me. Oh, you're going to train hard.
It rattles you.
Yeah, it rattles you. Like I'm that type of person that would sit there and think over, think, and and just think over stuff, and doing the work program. That was the worst 2 weeks of my life.
Walk us through it. They tell the people, so if you're a new signing with the Storm, they make you work full time whilst training full time to let you know how lucky you are to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. Craig Belzer there, he told us ex-football players used to work and have to play first grade, and he just wanted to really open up our eyes and show us young kids and new players that are coming to the club that don't take first grade for granted, and or what you got for granted, and you learn heaps. You learn heaps about yourself and about what you want for your future, and that's why they want it. That's why they do it, I suppose.
And so, walk us through, the routine. What's the routine?
Oh, the routine. It's just waking up early and.
So what, 4:30 wake up?
4:30 wake up, and obviously do your training, and you probably don't get home till like 9 o'clock at night. And it's just a repeat for 2 weeks straight. And obviously we're very strict in our bubble at the Melbourne Storm, so obviously you can't say too much. And I'll cop spray at builder.
Yeah, no, it's extremely tough, but it's also works. It 100% works. Like, look how good these guys are. Look how good the Storm are.
Oh, 100%.
So you wake up at 4:30, you go to work, you work 8-hour shift, come back and then go to training.
We wake up at 4:30, do gym, then do a gym session, and go straight to work, and then do our field 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and do that for 2 weeks straight.
Do the old boys give it to you? Like,
the old boys, they didn't come back till probably the end.
Oh, okay, so they weren't there.
So the new boys start the 1st of November, whatever it is, and the old boys. It's hard, like you said. It's hard because the Melbourne Storm always make the finals, and so different players come at different times. And so that's why I think we train really hard too to catch up on the.
So when you meet guys like Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, even guys like Chambers and Billy Slater, I mean, you could go on, the list could go on, but when you meet those guys, you're just like, teach me everything you can teach me, please.
I remember walking into the shed and sitting in my locker there, and at the time, I never had a locker. We just had a
you didn't have a locker?
Just a room. Like I wasn't top 25 at the time. You know what I mean? So I was excited just to have a locker. Just open it, put my stuff in there. I'll never forget it. Just sitting there, and all the players started coming in, and I was sitting there quiet. And when Billy Slater and Cameron Smith and Coops walked in, they come straight up to me and introduced themselves like everyone did. And you'd think the type of the players they are, you'd think they'd be stuck up, you know what I mean, selfish, but
expect you to come to them.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and that's what I was expecting at the time. But they come up to me and introduced themselves, and they said, welcome to the club, and we're happy to have you here. And I felt really welcomed the first day, and that's what the Melbourne Storm's about. And it was a pretty special first day.
Oh man! And the crazy thing is like it seems so simple, and yet such a small gesture. All of a sudden, you're sitting there going, "How good is this place? They appreciate me, and like they want me here. I'm not an outcast. I'm not just like the new guy sitting in the corner." That's why they're so great. That's why they're so great. So Coop's leaving this year. Was that tough for the boys and everyone? Was it hard to see him go?
Yeah, 100%. I remember the day he told everyone, he brought everyone into the room, and when he told everyone that it was going to be his last year at the Storm, and I was devastated. It felt like I've been at the Storm for 20 years, and I played alongside him for the last 15 or whatever years, and seeing him upset, obviously, I felt I'm an emotional person, and seeing him upset is it was pretty.
Or was it just rattling you a bit?
It was rattling me, and we couldn't believe it at the time. And
so it was a genuine shock to everyone, like you said.
It was a genuine shock. We wasn't expecting it. Obviously, Billy Slater and Cameron Smith probably knew before us, and there's coaching staff, but all us young boys didn't know, and we were pretty rattled, and it's pretty sad news for the club, but very, very happy for him.
Yeah, 100%. It's 2 seconds.
Well, bro.
Yeah, bro, they comes, man. It's so good.
Oh, mate, they're great. The type of player, like, you'd think they'd be arrogant and just stuck up, and
like not even like arrogant, but just like expect you to like come to them and shit, like 100%. Like I know even at the Broncos, bro, like there's no way that like, bro, they didn't speak to me when I was in the first grade squad. They barely, like some of the players didn't speak to me for like a year, man. Like just barely spoke to me. Whereas like obviously that wouldn't fly this time. Alright, sweet. Okay, grand final time. You're in the clear. Got the ball off Chambers.
Yeah.
What's that feeling like? I mean, the grand final. You're in the clear. 80,000 people. I mean, this is every kid's dream. How are you feeling?
Oh, I was pretty rattled at the time.
Really?
It was just a fast game, and I don't know. I just seen the opportunity and just kept moving my feet, and I knew if we got the ball, I was just running into say take the next hit up or whatever, and Chambers ended up catching the ball on the full or off a rebound or whatever it was, and I seen him step a couple of players, and I knew how to offload, and if you get that offload away, I had a chance of making a break or getting a fast play the ball, and I pride myself and put myself in the picture and finding the ball, and I just was at the right spot at the right time. It was probably Chambers' try more than mine. I just had to run.
Right, but did you run quick?
I was running. It was a pretty special moment for my family.
When you're running, were you just not thinking, or were you thinking, I'm in the ground? Because this is a different experience, but on my debut, when I made a break, I was actually thinking in my head, is this actually happening?
Nah, just everything happened so fast, and just sort of got tunnel vision, I suppose, and just give me the ball and I'll run and hope for the best and let the instinct kick in, I suppose, and I was lucky enough to get a try.
So you put the ball down,
pretty special moment.
Turn around.
I tried to chuck the ball up in the air, and then Suliasi Vunivalu would come over and tackle me, and I was like, I thought it was one of the Cowboys players trying to tackle me.
Right, you're going to start scrapping.
I tried to chuck the ball up in the air.
Yeah.
And I looked at him like that there, but it was. I was going to layer up, and I think he saved me.
He did.
Bells was not up.
I think you're allowed, like if you score a breakaway try in the grand final, you're allowed a little bit of a layer up. Come on, just a little bit.
Right, because he went up for the ball to catch the ball, and first thing I asked him was, "Bro, did you touch it? Did you touch the ball?" And he goes, "No, bro, no, I didn't touch the ball." And I was butted after that try. It was a really fast game.
Mate, what an amazing game. Okay, so next 12 months, if you have the perfect 12 months for you, where do you hope to be?
Is it the next 12 months?
Yeah, the next 12 months. So let's say the next 12 months goes perfectly for you. What do you hope to have achieved in that? Who you played for and all that kind of stuff.
Obviously playing, having another good season and a good pre-season down in Melbourne, and obviously play rep football, but I've got a job to do down in Melbourne, and if I do a good job down in Melbourne, obviously the opportunities will show, and just the next 12 months, just worry about just playing good football, and just keep cementing my spot in first grade and playing good football, and see what happens from there. Obviously we want to go back to back. That's the goal, but don't want to think too far ahead, I suppose. And
so there's a genuine discussion in the team already. This isn't just done now. We are going to continue to go back to back. Is that a genuine thought within the team already?
Oh well,
as in we want to.
Yeah, well, we want to win it. Every team wants to win it every year. So we want to take what we did this year to next year, and hopefully do our best. And if we can do that, it's going to be a very special achievement for the club.
100%. Oh man, it'll be amazing. It'll be so good, so good. Okay, so your Indigenous heritage, obviously extremely proud Indigenous man. How much does Indigenous round mean to you?
Oh, massive. It's a good opportunity to show the Indigenous culture, to represent my family and my heritage, obviously, and it's a big part of me.
Yep.
What else can I say about my heritage? I'm very proud Indigenous man. I tell everyone where I'm from, where my mum and dad are from, and where I grew up. And obviously, I grew up in Redfern. It's an Indigenous community, really strong Indigenous community, and just the person I am. I love representing my heritage and my family.
And that Indigenous round, do you hope it continues to grow and continues to, people? Because I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, 100%. It's a round where that shows that that non-Indigenous and obviously Indigenous people that get together and celebrate a great week of footy, and it's a very special week for heaps of people, and it's a very good week. I love playing it.
I love the jerseys too.
Yeah, 100%. I've got that many for that many people in my family, and it's a good week.
And I ask all the boys, who's favourite rapper of all time?
Favourite rapper?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, I've got a favourite rapper. I'll have to say Biggie.
Biggie?
Just because I love Juicy.
Oh, really? Just that song?
Just that song.
When that comes on?
That's the anthem. That's the anthem. It was all a dream.
Sick song, bro.
That's the song, but that's probably my favourite song. And I love Tupac, obviously, too, but yeah, that's the one.
I reckon like Biggie is better for like if you're going out, like with the boys, drinking. Like it's more better flow, just better beats. 100%. Whereas Tupac, if you want to sit down and like listen to a message, you listen to the message and kind of
two different rappers.
100%.
Yeah, I really enjoy them too.
Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie? Yeah. I was just thinking about that actually. Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Love Forrest Gump.
Last like a box of chocolates.
I love you, Jenny. And Bubba the Big Lip. It's a great movie. I probably love that movie. I love heaps of movies.
Yeah.
I love I love Star Wars and
do you like the new ones?
Lord of the Rings and stuff. And
oh, bro, Lord of the Rings is the best.
The best movie.
Man, have you watched like the extended editions?
Yeah.
Oh man, so hectic. I'm playing a game. It's called Shadow of War. And it's Lord of the Rings, bro. I fucking love it. Is that on still? Yeah, no, it's on still. It's on still, bro.
Yeah, I love those kind of movies, but probably Forrest Gump's up there. Probably Rabbit Proof Fence as well.
Oh really?
That's an Indigenous movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've always wanted to see it.
I remember watching it back in the day. It was pretty sad.
Yep.
It's obviously a movie about Indigenous people and what happened to them back in the day. And
yep.
It's a pretty sad movie, but
You know what I've always wanted to do, or I guess thought about, is like how like movies are such a good way to send a message or explain something, especially to this generation. And I feel like there's a lot of African American movies that are really good at explaining this is what happened, this is but it's also entertaining as well. So the message gets brought across to all audiences. And I feel like I wish there was a high budget similar one for Australia.
Yeah.
And telling that story through not entertainment in a positive sense like that, but entertainment is in a really high budget movie, similar to the way the African American history is told.
Yeah.
I just reckon that would be Rabbit Proof Fence is obviously an example of it, but yeah, something like that. I reckon it'd be awesome to do in Australia, 100%. You're probably not going to remember or be able to think of it, but best prank of all time in like the boys, as in footy prank.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I have one.
Nah, most boys just. I don't know. Best player you've ever played with that you like is on the field. Like, man, this guy is like just unbelievable.
Best player.
Yep.
Obviously, like Cam Smith and Coop Cronk and Billy Slater, but there's a few boys I played with back here in Redfern that should be
just guns, and
they just could be anything. And
yep.
I played with some freakish Indigenous players, and but Cam Smith, Billy Slater, and Cooper Cronk would probably be the best players I've ever played with.
At the Storm, what's the best thing you reckon you've been taught by who, and what was that lesson, and how did it all come about?
What was the question?
So, like, what's the best thing you've learned at the Storm? Like, is there a lesson that maybe Cam Smith pulled you aside and said, like, let's say you had a tough game or whatever, and you didn't play as well? Maybe a lesson that Cooper Cronk told you. Has anything stood out for you where you've been like really taking it on board? Maybe Bellamy has said something to you that.
When I was doing the try celebrations, like I said before, everyone's seen it as a selfish thing, and the Melbourne Storm's not about that.
Yep,
it's a team, obviously a team sport, and they're all about the team. And I really thought about it and embraced it, and it made me into a better person and a better player. And I'll never forget the day. It was the first day of training, and Bells had pulled me aside and showed me all the clips, all my layer ups, and yeah, it was pretty embarrassing at the time, but I really learned a lot from it, and it's made me a better player.
But did he showed you in a way that just kind of explaining, like, this is why, this is a team thing? It wasn't to try to put shit on you. It was more to teach you, what they're about and what a try really is, kind of thing. Yeah,
100%. The Storm's about when it comes to the tries, it's the play before that. Say a front row just got you to quick play the ball, and they'll show that. They won't show the try. They'll show the player that got that quick play the ball.
Oh wow, okay.
You know what I mean? So they're all about the team, and yeah, like I said before, I learned a lot from it.
And did that really click for you? Were you like, I get it. I get it. I understand. I know what you're saying now. I get the concept that isn't my try. That's the forward that just got head high and got up and played the ball and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said before, I really thought about it, and took it on board, and it's made me a better player and a better person.
Yeah, it's such a good lesson. Because it is obviously you do want to celebrate because you're excited, but at the same time, it can be seen as like you're thinking that it was all you.
Selfish, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I wasn't thinking that at the time.
You're not exactly thinking, I'm a man or whatever, but it's just like that explosion of because I remember I scored one and I grabbed the Broncos being and lit it up. But in my mind, I wasn't thinking that. I was just so we won, boys. That's what I was thinking. We did it, boys.
100%.
But in saying that, it can be seen as that. It can be seen. All right, bro. That's thank you so much for coming on, brother. And I just love watching you play. And good luck next year.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that's forward pass, Mr. Cummins, you dickhead. Well, I can't speak. Forward a mile. He's let it go. That one, Stevie Wonder is in. Now 5 yards forward. Well, I can't speak.